It's that time again for you to travel with us into the further regions of experience. We are your guides, modern day bards, historians, investigators, reporters, warrior poets. Journey with us as we together unlock the mysteries of our very world. We would like to welcome you to The Reckoning Hour with your hosts Johnny Reed, Wayne Weissenat, Max DeVille, and Emmanuel Jimenez. Steve Miller is the founder of Play to Beat Brain Cancer. He and his wife founded the organization in honor of his eldest daughter, who has lost her battle to glioblastoma in 2013. After working decades in the IT world, Steve found a higher calling and the desire to help others. He has witnessed the impact on families who are struggling with the cost of medicines, treatments, and surgeries. Steve established Play to Beat Brain Cancer to help relieve that financial stress and to support cutting-edge brain cancer research.
Greetings, salutations, and once again, I'd like to welcome you to the Reckoning Hour. I'm one of your hosts, Johnny Reed, and we got the man of the hour, Mr. Wayne. What's up, buddy?
Not much. Busy work day today. How about yourself, Johnny?
Oh, just living the dream, Oh, I hear some knocking. Is that the man in the back room? Is that the caged animal himself, Max DeVille?
I am locked in the box. Let me out. I gotta go collect the mail someday soon.
We sent some water this time to go with the ramen, so hopefully that helped.
Well, it did help a little bit. I've learned to put it into the sunlight, so it kind of warms up the water a little bit. The one little beam of sun that comes in the room.
The hobo trick. I got you.
Yeah. But I got all my comic books are ordered for our crowdfunding from Indiegogo. So those are at the printer now. So that's fantastic. Makes me happy. Soon I'll be able to hold my creation in my hand, and that'll be a wonderful, wonderful day.
Yeah, we're excited for that, man. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. Actually, talking about excitement, we have our guest tonight. It's kind of hard for me. I'm near and dear. He's kind of like my second dad, outside of the workplace. But we wanted to bring him on because he's doing some great things with his charity, Play to Beat Brain Cancer. And he's going to tell us kind of how he started it, what's he currently doing, and what the plan ahead is. So we'd like to welcome Steve Miller.
Yay! And it's not Steve Miller from the Steve Miller Band, correct?
Well, I'm not doing any autographs for you guys. I can tell you that.
Oh, okay.
And don't ask me to sing.
So how's it going? How you been?
Good. Excellent. It's been really busy. It's good to hear from all of you. So, I appreciate you inviting me to the Reckoning Productions program, and I appreciate that.
We're glad to have you.
We're going to get real quick here, because really what we want to know is what really inspired you. We'd like to really know, if you don't mind sharing it with us. I know, I've heard the story and a lot of other people have, but, we really want to know what started Play to Beat Brain Cancer, what inspired you, and what keeps you motivated to keep it going.
All right. Well, back in early 2011, we were on vacation in Canada, and we got a call from the oldest daughter, Lisa. And she's one of two girls that Rosalie had, and I had my son, Derek. And we were on this vacation, and we got a call from Lisa to tell us that she had stage 4 brain cancer. She had glioblastoma. And so we raced home, and at the time she was 39. And so we came home, we spent time with her. She had a surgery to remove a tumor that was half the size of a grapefruit. And she came out of it pretty good. She actually got all of her faculties back and her mobility. She was able to go back to work as a vice principal at a Middle School in Lawrence, Kansas. And then after about a year, she got a second tumor. And we really appreciated everything that they were doing for her, including bringing her Houston, Texas, Andy Anderson. They put her in a trial, trying a new medication to that would help. It stopped that tumor from growing. We thought we were looking good, but of course I had done some research on glioblastoma, and the outcome for that particular disease is not good at all, at least at that time.
No, Steve, I'm sorry for interrupting, but I just wanted to ask what led her to believe that she had a problem. I mean, was there symptoms that was coming on? I mean, what happened for her to find out at stage 4?
Well,
there's people listening, going through the same things and not realizing they have a problem as well.
Sure. And that's a really good point. So she had been having migraines for really about a couple of decades, since she was in her teens. And they continually became more frequent and stronger. And I mean, she'd go to the doctors and they didn't find anything. And finally, a doctor decided an MRI. And when he did the MRI, then it showed the tumor in it. So, and she, at that point, she was having more difficulty with her eyesight. She was having a little bit of balance problems. She was also tired more often. So the symptoms slowly start to appear. And as they do, a lot of people have to shrug it off, attribute it to something else, just too much work or the weather or other symptoms or other items because of the symptoms. And so they don't go to the doctor and they don't, go through more testing to determine what the issue is.
Gotcha.
Time she went to that doctor and they did the MRI, then they determined she was at stage 4.
So she started out with migraines when she was a teenager, and then just what sent her to the doctor?
Well, she had at the point she was really getting tired a lot. The migraines were severe. She was having some balance issues.
Yeah.
And her eyesight was deteriorating some.
Okay.
All right.
There was a whole bunch of symptoms that came along at that point.
Okay. Well, then let's go back. Sorry for the interruption, but I just really wanted to kind of clarify that ground part. But so she had the second tumor.
So yes. And so she got second tumor. They put her in a trial. The trial medication did slow down the growth of that second tumor, but at about the 2-year point from the first surgery, a third tumor appeared, and MD Anderson said that at that point the trial medication was not having any more effect against glioblastoma. And so they gave her at most 6 months, and she lived about 8 at that point before she passed away late in 2013.
Nice. Yeah, I've heard that glioblastoma is a very, very aggressive cancer.
It is. Unfortunately,
yeah.
The survival rate when they find it, if it's not at stage 4, is maximum of 5 years.
That's terrible.
Originally, when they found it, they gave her 2. She lasted almost 3.
Well, she's a fighter then.
Yes, she was. She loved life. She loved people. She loved gaming. And after she passed away, Rosalie and I tried to figure out what we could do that would honor her, maybe help others, maybe help MD Anderson, since they had done so much for her. And in the process of talking with my wife and with my son, Derek, we kept coming back to the fact that, her husband's family had money, so they paid for her trips, they paid for medicines, they paid for all of these things to get her to be able to have a chance to extend her life.
Right.
At that point, it just dawned on us, 90% of the people that are dealing with brain cancer or brain tumors don't have that financial resource to be able to do all of that. They're going to skip some meds, or they're going to skip surgeries, or they're going to not try to travel to these beautiful hospitals that are doing everything they can to help people because they didn't have the finances to be able to do these things. So as we were discussing this over a period of time, Derek said, well, why don't we just start our own organization and focus on helping people by paying the medical expenses for those that are underinsured? And I thought that was a great idea. Rosalie loved it. And so, of course, the next thing we had to figure out was what were we going to call our organization? And Derek came up with Play to Beat Brain Cancer. Now, there's a reason for naming it that. It's everybody loves to do something, whether it's play golf, watch football, play games, ski. They love to do these things. So that is what their enjoyment is, which everybody is, in a sense, playing. They play fantasy baseball and football and so on. So he came up with Play to Beat Brain Cancer, which was look for what the individual loves to do, and then we'll build the fundraisers around that activity that the individual loves to help raise funds for them. And that's how we came up with the name.
That's a great idea.
It is a great idea.
I really like it. So Play to Beat Brain Cancer is to find a way that people enjoy to spend their time and then raise funds to help people with medical costs. Is it just for medical costs, or do you help them just like pay their mortgages and their rent and their electricity, or is it just for medical expenses only?
It's anything that is related to their medical expenses. We don't help with their mortgages or their rent or their car payments, but we try to relieve a little bit of that financial stress when it comes to their medications, their hospital bills, their doctor bills, their co-pays, or transportation to a location or a motel stay, if they're getting treatment at, say, MD Anderson or one of the other treatment centers at KU and so on.
Okay, that's really cool. I like that it's focused on the healing aspect and the medication that way, and the hospital that way. People can't abuse the system, and it's going to where it needs to be going to. I'm not saying that your charity is anything but on the up and up, but there are a lot of charities that do kind of abuse their 501c3 status.
Yeah, unfortunately, you are correct. But and that's why we were very specific when we created the organization and filed it with the IRS. And it's kind of funny, I actually had a call from an IRS agent once back in late 2015. And he wanted to talk to me about what we were doing and why and how we had it set up. And what he appreciated was the fact that we were very specific in what we were going to do and how the money was going to be distributed for supporting those individuals that had brain tumors or brain cancer.
Now, looking at your website, you do have a mention, that you do try to help with some research. Now, is that true still?
Yes, it is. So we don't hit those numbers exactly. Nobody ever does, but we try to spend 80% of the donations on the individual, with 20% going to the for cancer research with a hospital that is in the area where our people are being supported. Now we're helping people down in Texas, up in Wisconsin, here in Kansas. And so we try to spread that a little bit around to each of them, because they're the ones helping the individuals beat the cancer or find cures for the cancer.
That's fantastic. So you're not like a lot of other charities that take 90% and say it's administrative costs and only give out 10% of your money. I like that.
Well, one of the things that there is a watch group that monitors all 501c3s, and what they do is they do reporting on those organizations. Now, they don't start until about year 5, because it takes a while for an organization to build and able to get into the guidelines that they suggest. And what they recommend is that by year 5, your operating costs are 15% of the money you bring in, so that at least 85% of it is going toward what you are doing, which in our case is helping those individuals and cancer research.
Awesome.
Well, so you have the name, you have the foundation, you've got it set up, through the government agency. Where did you go next?
That's where you get to the hard part, is how do you actually start? Well, for us, it wasn't just trying to raise funds and send it to hospitals for their research. We needed to find somebody that we could actually help. And it turned out that my wife was a teacher. She taught with a lady that her husband was at another school, and there was a young lady at that elementary school that had a brain tumor. And so we started conversing with that family, and they said, yes, we would love to have help. And at that point, we just walked through our process with them, and they put us in touch with their doctor. I actually went with them up to the pharmacy, set it up so that any medications that this young lady needed, they would bill me directly. So the family has never seen a pharmacy bill for their daughter for anything related to the brain tumor.
That's fantastic. I like that. I like how they don't even have to see it, because I mean, just seeing the bill and seeing the numbers, that can be pretty overwhelming.
Yes, it can.
So you throw your first event then, correct?
What was that?
And then so that's what sparked that your very first event, I would say.
Right, because what we did is I asked the young lady directly, what do you like to do? She says, I like carnivals and I like Monopoly games. So we held a carnival outside at the school that she went to, and we had her there and her family, and she wanted to help out, and she was just awesome. And she told me, she says, this will not beat me. I will beat it. And she has been my inspiration ever since we started our organization. She is absolutely just wonderful. And now that has been 4 years as of last month, or actually 2 months ago. So 4 years that we've been helping her, and she's growing into a very lovely teenager.
That's awesome. That is fantastic. So, everybody gets all, concerned about it. So not really concerned about it, but they always want to know. I mean, so How well is the charity doing? I mean, how much you guys have given out? I mean, I think it said on your website you've given over $100,000 or
In the
$200,000.
4 years. Last year alone, it was because we've been growing each year, and
Well, of
last
course,
year
yeah.
we were helping 5 families. So, and last year we put out over $40,000.
Nice.
Well,
So,
and you were growing basically because you evolved this to where you started getting more into the gaming side of things, and then you brought in more people, and then you started doing more conventions, correct?
That is correct. Yeah, that's an interesting story in itself. We had Derek had been talking to somebody, and they says, "Well, hey, we host a online and table gaming event every quarter, and we always look for a host charity. We would like to have you be the host charity for an upcoming event." And we agreed, and we went around and asked different types of companies to donate things, so we'd have some things at that event. We went to it. We had a great time. We were greatly received, and people just loved what we were doing, and they donated and acquired some things through that donation, and it was a successful event. While we were there, and that was local here, that was a KC GameCon event. And while we were there, we got invited to be a vendor at CantCon, which is in Overland Park, Kansas, during the summer, which is a tabletop gaming event. So Derek reached out to a lot of manufacturers and high level gaming dealers, and they donated a lot of things. And we went to that event, and pretty much everything was gone by the end of that event that was donated to us. And we raised a lot of funds. And
Fantastic.
right after that, we had a request to help somebody else. And so we always look at it as God never gives you more than you can handle. And when you can handle more, then he gives you more. And it seems like every time we begin to grow, then we're able to help another person.
So what's on your plate now then? What's your next? What's on your event now? What's the next big event for Play to Beat Brain Cancer?
With unfortunately with COVID, that has shut pretty much everything down. But we are going to do a virtual event this weekend, which is Midwest Game Fest in Independence, Missouri. So that's a virtual event that we'll attend. Right now, the only set event that we have for next year is our own event, which is called CageCon. It refers to Cancer Awareness Gaming and Entertainment Convention.
I like it.
Yeah,
very cool.
How about you tell everybody how that came about?
Well, and for everybody, Johnny just asked that question, and Johnny has been one of the big volunteers for my organization, and he helps out a lot. Between him, Derek, and Danielle, the four of us kept looking at what we could do to help others, in the sense of when we were attending events, whether it was a gaming event or a convention, it seemed like every event someone would ask us, well, can you help people with breast cancer? Can you help people with pancreatic cancer or lymphoma or other types of cancer? And we said, well, we're focused on brain cancer, but that always bothered us. And I mean, I've got, there's been lung cancer in my family, and there's been lymphoma, and then other cancers within my core team in their families. And so we were talking about how we could help others, but keep our organization focused on brain cancer. And the consensus came up, well, so let's hold our own convention, and we could invite other cancer groups to join us at that convention, and we'll raise funds to help them also.
That's perfect. That is a perfect idea. That is the most elegant solution to that problem I've ever heard. Most people would probably just be like, well, let's create another LLC and we'll all work together and blah, blah, blah. But the convention idea, I like it. And with the Play to Beat Brain Cancer, it's a gaming event. So that's perfect. So do you just do like Monopoly games and chess, or are you going straight Dungeons and Dragons and Warhammer, stuff like that?
Well, for the convention, it'll be D&D and Adventure League and Warhammer, whatever people want to play. Other games will be available if they want to. I've been talking to a couple of game manufacturers, and they're talking about coming and actually hosting their own gaming session. And we'll use those gaming sessions to raise donations for the cancer groups. So we could have all kinds of different games out there.
Yeah, that's interesting to me. I want to go.
It's right up your alley, Max.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Dungeons and Dragons and comic books. I'll be there.
Well, and the event, from my understanding, it's going to have exhibitors. It's going to have celebrities. It's going to have a little bit of everything. Is that correct?
That is correct. What we wanted to do is make sure that we had the opportunity for everyone to come and enjoy themselves. So there'll be gaming, there'll be celebrities to do signings, and hopefully we're at a point that we can do photo ops at that time. We're going to have different types of panels, and where we'll have speakers covering all types of various things, such as how to write comics, about gaming. We're also going to have a couple of specialists in neurology that deal with different types of neurological cancers and the signs, indicators on those. So we want to spread the panels out to cover different aspects. We're going to have the other cancer groups there represented with tables so that people can talk to them about the specific cancers and make donations. As mentioned, we're going to have all different types of vendors and artists at our event. We're going to have cosplay going on during it, and we're going to do something special for the kids. We're going to have trick-or-treating where they'll go to the various vendors and be able to collect candy. And we're talking about some other aspects potentially at this point for that event. So we want to make it a lot of fun and raise funds for the cancer groups.
So
Well, when you say that all this stuff that they're doing, because it's going to constantly be changing. Of course, like you've already mentioned, I'm a part of it, so we're always going to be updating this stuff. But tell everyone that's listening, where can they find the information? What's your website, Twitter? Where do they have to go to find this info?
Well, we've got a Facebook page. We've got the website is called CageCon at CAGE-CON. If you just type in CageCon, it'll come up and take you to our site.
And you do have a Twitch, correct?
We do for Play to Beat Brain Cancer.
Correct.
We haven't set anything up for CageCon itself at this point.
So if anybody wants to get any information, I'm just going to repeat this for Play to Beat Brain Cancer. It's on Facebook. They got their website out there. You can go out there, learn exactly about the organization, find out where it started, find out who's all involved. If you want to get more information on the actual CageCon convention, cagecon.com, you can put it in your search engine. And it's also got its Facebook page as well. And what are those dates? What are those dates right now? And we know tentatively dates can change because of the environment, but right now, what are you shooting for?
Yeah, I was going to say with the trick or treating, I was like, is that just all year?
It might be.
Hey, it's all year in my world.
We're looking to right now currently hold it October 15th through 17th in 2021, next year.
At the KCI Expo Center.
KCI Expo Center, that's correct. Which is very close to the KCI airport.
Yeah, Kansas City International Airport. It's like 5 minutes away, and there's a whole bunch of hotels up there. Do you have deals with any of the hotels for people to stay in, or have you gotten that far yet?
We're actually in discussion on trying to get discounts with the hotels for the people that want to stay nearby.
All right, fantastic.
Well, I got to say, Steve, a convention in October, Play to Beat Brain Cancer, all these other foundations, gaming, celebrities, and bringing it all together. I would say you're going to have quite the event on your hands.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
And I'm super excited. I know Max and Johnny are as well.
Oh, I'm very excited and looking forward to it. We've been to a lot of gaming events and a lot of conventions. And over the last year and a half, we've been talking to vendors and artists, and they're excited about the approach that we're taking to hold this event, and they want to be there with us. And we've started to reach out, and I'm getting responses that, yes, we're going to be there, and provide us more details so that we can fill out our application and get it in, so we lock down a spot with you. So it's we're getting a really good response. Very happy about it.
So if someone does want to be a exhibitor or like an artist in Artist Alley, how would they just go to the CageCon website, and do you have the information there?
It is there, and they can get information off the Play to Beat Brain Cancer website, and that is the initials of Play to Beat Brain Cancer. So it's ptbbc.org.
Okay, that works out good. So ptbbc.org or CageCon if they want to find out information about becoming an exhibitor at the CageCon itself. And hopefully this year it'll go off last year, well, currently this year, still, 2020 never seems to end. You guys had to move it for your inaugural year, correct?
That is correct. Yeah, we had initially planned to hold it this year, but unfortunately, with COVID attacking the world early in the year, we decided early on that we would postpone it 1 year to get past all of this, and then put together really a little bit bigger show than what we had intended to initially.
Well, that's good though. I mean, you might be you might have been shut down this year, but if it allows you to grow to be a bigger show next year, that's why I like that even better.
Yeah, and of course, with the health of everyone, we keep that in mind as we're preparing to hold our convention and provide all the safety protocols that we need, have them in place.
Are you gonna do all the social distancing and the masks and stuff if it's still required? I mean, I'm sure you guys have to go through some sort of recreation of your all your layouts and everything, because all the conventions that I've seen that have happened since COVID, the tables are spread farther apart. There's people it's almost like little bubbles around everything.
Yeah, we're constantly in contact with the venue, KCI Expo Center, and who's been in touch, with the local health department, and they've got certain requirements that are in place currently, and whatever's in place at that point is what we'll follow to ensure that we provide a safe environment for everyone that attends our event.
All right, that's fantastic. Well, we are about out of time for talking to you because Zoom has a 40-minute restriction.
Right.
So last time you can go to ptbbc.org for playtobeatbraincancer.org, or you can go to cage.con, spelled CAGE-CON.com, and get information about the convention itself. And I see on your website you guys have some stuff to sell. You got some things that are those still available? All the dice towers and the rolling cups and the dice themselves.
We have all kinds of things on our website, and adding more things quite soon.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Well, Steve, thank you very much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate you taking time out of your evening and sharing your story with us and letting us know exactly what's going on Play to Beat Brain Cancer and letting the listeners know exactly what's in plan to the future. And we'd like to have you back later on closer to the convention and talk more about what's going on with it.
Yeah.
I appreciate the time, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, not a problem. It was our pleasure, and we look forward to speaking to you again soon, Steve.
Thank you.
The Reckoning Hour is produced by Reckoning Productions, LLC, with your hosts, Johnny Reed, Wayne Weissenat, Max DeVille, and Emmanuel Jimenez. Produced by Max DeVille, voice talents, Raven Reed.